Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, my name is Faith, and in today's video we'll be making this baby blanket. It's so squishy, it's very warm, it's very thick, it's very textured, and then the good thing about it is it's reversible. So you can either use the back side as your front side or the front side as your front side, and they both look very pretty, as you can see. And then one thing you need to note is that this blanket measures 31 inches by 31 inches. What you're going to need is any weight for yarn. I'm using this brand Seal, it's 3-ply and it's chunky, 100% acrylic. And for this blanket I'm going to need 7 balls of these, 8 balls of that yarn, a 5mm crochet hook, you'll need a 5mm hook, a pair of scissors and tape measure, of course. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe down below. Let me know what you think about this video, if you enjoy it, and let's just head over to our video. To begin, you're going to make a slip knot. And then insert your hook and chain a multiple of 8 plus 3. So for this prototype, you're going to chain 24 plus 3, so that is 27. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 20. So I've chained 27. So for round 1 or for row 1, you're going to yarn over, skip 3 chains from the hook, and on this 4th chain insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then pull through the last 2. So you have the chain 3 will act as a double crochet, and then this is the second double crochet. Then yarn over twice and skip 3 chains, and on the 4th chain you're going to work a treble crochet. So pull through the first 2, the second 2, and the last 2. Then add 2 more trebles in the same chain. Chain 2 and place 3 more trebles in the same chain. Like that. Don't worry about this hole. Then yarn over, skip 3 chains, and on the 4th chain you're going to work a puff stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go right ahead, insert your hook, pull through until you have total of 4, 5. So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 loops on your hook. Then yarn over and pull through the first 10 loops like that, and then yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. So you have our puff stitch. Then yarn over twice, skip 3, and on the 4th one work 3 trebles, chain 2 and 3 trebles. So that is 1, 2, 3, then chain 2 and work 3 more trebles in the same chain stitch. 1, 2, 3. Then skip 3. On the 4th one, work a puff stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yarn over, pull through the first 10, and then yarn over, pull through the last 2. Then skip 3. On the next one, work 3 trebles. Chain 2 and 3 more trebles. Like this, and then skip the last 2 stitches from the hook, and in this last stitch work 2 double crochets. So your first row should be done, and on row 2 you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. Then the first stitch you're going to work single crochet, and then single crochet the next stitch, and in the next 3 trebles you're going to work front post single crochet. So insert your hook like this, make single crochet, do that in the next stitch, and then the 3rd treble. Then you're going to chain 5, so what you're going to do here, we're going to flip our work, and then in this chain that we placed 6 trebles, we're going to work a single crochet, then chain 5, flip our back to our row, and then complete with 3 front post stitches, single crochet stitches. So 1, 2, 3, and then on top of this puff stitch you're going to chain 2, then jump over to our next treble cluster, work 3 front post single crochets, then chain 5, flip your work, and in this chain space you're going to work single crochet, chain 5, flip your work back to normal, and then finished with 3 front post single crochets. Chain 2, work 3 front post single crochets on the next treble cluster, then chain 5, flip your work, and in this stitch or chain stitch where we placed our trebles, you're going to go inside there and work single crochet, then chain 5, flip your work back to your row, and then finish the 3 trebles with front post single crochets. and then go right ahead in the last two double crochet stitches and work single crochets, one single crochet on each stitch, and then turn your work to the right side. So this is how row 2 looks like. So in this row 3 we're going to chain 3, which is our double crochet, and then on this next single crochet stitch you're going to work 3 treble stitches. So 1, yarn over twice, then work the second one, and then the third one. Then locate the chain 2 between the trebles in our first row and work a puff stitch. Then in the chain 2 space above the puff you're going to work 3 trebles, chain 2 and 3 trebles. And then in the next, locate the next chain 2 between trebles in the first row and work your puff stitch. And then the next chain 2 space above the puff stitch, work 3 trebles, chain 2 and 3 trebles. And then your puff stitch in this chain 2 space. And then after the puff stitch you're going to work 3 trebles on this second stitch here. So yarn over twice, go in that single crochet stitch, work a treble, and then add 2 more trebles in the same stitch. And then work 1 double crochet on this last stitch. Like that. Turn your work, chain 1, single crochet in the first stitch, and in the next 3 trebles you're going to work front post single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, then on over this puff stitch you're going to work only chain 2 and then jump to the next treble stitches and work 3 front post single crochets, then chain 5, and for this round and the next rounds we are going to work a front post single crochet on this puff stitch. So go behind the puff stitch and work a front post single crochet, then chain 5, return back to your row and finish the 3 trebles with front post single crochets. Chain 2, skip the puff, move to the next treble cluster, work 3 front post single crochets, then chain 5 and flip your work and go behind this puff stitch and work a front post single crochet, then chain 5, return back to your row and finish off with 3 front post single crochets. Chain 2, skip the puff stitch and finish the 3 trebles with front post single crochets, and then work 1 single crochet in the last double crochet stitch. Chain 3, turn, work 1 double crochet in the same stitch as our chain 3, and then on this chain 2 space above the puff we're going to repeat our row 1 pattern, work 3 trebles, chain 2 and 3 more trebles. And then go in the chain 2 space here inside the V and work a puff stitch, and then above the puff work 3 trebles, chain 2, 3 trebles. And then here work a puff stitch, on top of this puff you're going to work 3 trebles, chain 2 and 3 more trebles. And then go right ahead in the last stitch and work 2 double crochets. So what you're going to do is you're going to repeat row 2 to row 4 pattern, row 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern until your blanket measures your desired length, and then I'll meet you when you're working now the border. So I went ahead and did 75 rows for this blanket, 37 rows of single crochets and 38 rows of double crochets, and this is how the length looks like. So the last row is this one here, the one that starts with double crochet and then 3 trebles. And if you want your blanket to be longer, you can continue making more rows. Just repeat the pattern, repeat, And for this border, I'm just going to do a very simple border. To do that, you're going to chain 1 and then turn and work along this edge here. So in every double crochet row, you're going to place 2 single crochet, 1, 2, and then in every single crochet row you're going to work only 1 single crochet. So 1. The next double crochet, place 2 stitches, and then the next single crochet row just work 1 stitch, 2 stitches, one in the next. So continue repeating the same pattern, placing 2 single crochets in the double crochet rows and 1 single crochet in the single crochet rows until your last 2 single crochets on this stitch. So let's meet when you're working the bottom border. Now when you reach the bottom here, you're going to chain 2. So I've worked my last 2 single crochets on this last stitch, chain 2, and then turn and start working on the bottom. So work 1 single crochet on the first stitch, and then the next in the chain space. Remember we had a chain 2 space here, so work 2 single crochets, and then go right ahead on this next chain, work a single crochet, and then 3 single crochets in the chain 3 space, and then single crochet on this stitch with the bubble or the puff, 3 single crochets in the chain space, one single crochet in the next stitch with our V, and repeat that to the end of this row. So I've made my single crochets up to this corner here, and I have a total of 112 single crochets here at the bottom. So turn your work on this other side, chain 2, and then place 2 single crochets around this double crochet here, and then 1 single crochet in the chain or in the single crochet stitch, 2 around the next double, 1 in the single crochet stitch, and repeat that also to the end of your row here or your border. So I've gone ahead and done my single crochets along that edge, and I've reached here at the top. So what you're going to do, you're going to chain 2 at this corner, and then work your first single crochet on this chain 3. So set your hook and then work your single crochet there, and then single crochet in the next stitch and the next stitch, and each stitch until you reach the chain 2 space. So when you reach the chain 2 space, you're going to place only 1 single crochet in that space, and then continue working 1 single crochet on each stitch until you reach the next chain 2 space, When you're there, work 1 single crochet in the chain 2 space, and repeat that until the end of your row here. So what you need to note is your number of stitches here is going to be the same as your number of stitches at the bottom row. So I've worked my border and I've reached the start where I started with the edging. So what I'll do, I'll chain 2 in this last corner, and then I join with a slip stitch on this first single crochet. So from here I'm going to do double crochet border, a very simple border. So I'll chain 2. This chain 2 will not count as my stitch, so I'll go back again in the same stitch and work a double crochet, and then I double crochet in the next stitch, and each stitch until I reach my chain 2 here at the end. So continue working your double crochets, and when you reach this last double crochet, we'll meet there as we work on this chain 2 space. So I went ahead and I'm here at the last stitch to chain 2 space on this first corner. So what I do, I'll work 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space. So 1, 2, and then chain 2. I work 2 more double crochets in the same space. And then turn on your bottom row or border and place 1 single crochet on each, sorry, 1 double crochet on each stitch along that edging or border. And now what you're going to do is you're going to repeat this pattern on every edge, or sorry, on every corner. So when you reach on this corner, after working your last double crochet on this last stitch, you're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, continue with your double crochets along this side. When you reach the 3rd corner, you're going to repeat the same pattern, and let's meet when you're back here at the start. So after working your last double crochet on this last stitch, let's meet when you're working on this chain 2 space. So I went ahead and did my rows of double crochets, and I'm here back to my first chain 2. So go ahead and work 2 double crochets in that chain 2 space, chain 2, and then 2 more double crochets. And then go right ahead and join with a slip stitch on the first double crochet stitch. Remember we did chain 2 which didn't count as a stitch, so skip that chain 2, and on the first stitch work a slip stitch, and then chain 1, and from here this is going to be our last round. So what you're going to do, you're going to work the crab stitch or the reverse single crochet. You're going to go in your previous stitch, go through both loops, so insert your hook through both loops, and then grab your yarn, pull it through, and then yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. So that's our reverse single crochet. Go in the previous stitch, set your hook, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. So in the chain 2 space you're going to work only 1 reverse single crochet, and then turn on our top border. So continue working reverse single crochet on each stitch. Go in the previous stitch, set your hook, yarn over, pull through, have 2 loops, yarn over, pull through those 2 loops. So it's that simple. Now what you're going to do is just continue with the reverse single crochet. When you reach the chain 2 space, place only 1 reverse single crochet in the space and then continue with the next border. So I'll go ahead and work all my round and I'll meet you on this last stitch, or the first stitch that we started with, and then I'll show you how to bind off and how to weave in your end, and that will be it. So I went ahead and finished my round for the border, and I'm here at the start. So I've worked my last reverse single crochet on this stitch next to the first stitch where we started with. So what you're going to do is you're going to make a slip stitch on this first stitch. So insert your hook, then yarn over and pull through that loop. Then grab your pair of scissors and cut it out. Just leave a fairly long tail to even the end. Grab your darning needle and then just weave in your tail. So since this blanket is reversible, what you're going to do is just weave in along the last edge. Ensure that you weave in properly so that it doesn't unravel. Go ahead and cut off that little bit of end, and voila, our work is done. And now our work is done. So this is how it looks like. I really enjoyed making this blanket, and if you did too, please let me know in the comment section below. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, because that one is going to help with the algorithms. And to our next video, please take care and stay safe, and let's meet in the next video. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and see ya. So this is how it looks like. It's really pretty, it's squishy, it's beautiful, it's textured, it's reversible. This is how the back looks like. Let me show you. Sorry. So this is how the back looks like, and it can work also as the front. So if one side is dirty, just turn it back and you have your pretty blanket. So thanks again for watching, and see you in the next video. Please take care and bye bye.